I want to introduce to you Livnat. She is, besides of being an incredible human and a beautiful soul, she's an author and she's a speaker. She's an owner of her business. It's called BIZNIZ, where she guides CEOs and managers into those moments of making decisions, real life decision, when things are going on in their companies where they need that assistant. I'm saying what she's doing in my own words, but I'm going to let her introduce herself too in a couple of words, so she can tell you a little bit more about it and share her story. So, as always, without further ado, here is Livnat. Hello, hello, beautiful. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Well,
It's
good
the afternoon.
afternoon to you.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. In Israel, we're in the afternoon.
Yes,
The
yes.
weather hot, steamy, and
Yeah, same here. Same here. We're boiling. And I always tell everybody, in the beginning of the show, I still look normal. By the end of the show, because I can't do the air conditioner or the fan because they're noisy, I'm melting in here. But we got to do what we got to do. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm very excited to be here. I
I'm
was
so
looking forward to
excited.
meeting you and talking to you and to your audience.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really excited to have you. It's such a privilege to have you here. Share what you do and share your story. Why don't you tell us in a couple of words too? Because, I don't know if I butchered your bio or not, but you're more than welcome to add a little bit more to that and tell us a little bit about what you do, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. So I'm 55 years old. I'm a mother, first of all. I'm a mother to four beautiful daughters. I live in Israel, in Tel Aviv. I I was a senior in the banking and the non-banking system for over 30 years. I was a manager. I managed a lot of sections in the discount bank, which was my home. I was there since I was 25 years old. Even before I was a mother, I was already carrying my eldest daughter, in my belly, which I didn't know. And
Wow.
I was actually growing up with discount and got a lot of beautiful opportunities to be a manager. I was always a manager from the beginning of the beginning. And
Mm,
after almost 30 years, I chose to move on to Phoenix Gamma. I was there a VP of credit, and I built a beautiful system of credit in this beautiful company. And in the last 3 months, I'm a business entrepreneur. I do my own business, which is called BIZNIZ, which is my last name, Biz of Nizri, and I accompany CEOs and the company in the financial, like banks and the non-banks. I do also consulting of a strategy, but not only strategy, financial, organize
station. Mm-hmm.
exactly, because I think everything comes together to this company, to what they want to grow. We always are in the black swans, always, even if
Right.
we know it, even if we don't want it, and even if we don't choose it. Sometimes we do the change. We want to change, and then we take it to the next level. But even when we choose the change, it doesn't mean that we know what's about to come. This is
Right.
life. Life is like this, and we go up, we go down, and we need to always maintain ourselves, our core,
Right.
our
Absolutely.
values. And 11 years ago, my whole life changed. From
Mm.
I was involved in a car accident. In a car, I drove the car. I have four daughters. I said I was with my two youngest daughters, Yuval and Hila, and we were involved in a car accident. The night of the accident was an ordinary night, ordinary evening, and I tell it in my two books. And I made some choices in this evening, choices that altered this evening from a normal, ordinary evening with the choices of a mother to this intersection of death and of
Mm.
chaos that
Yes.
changed my entire life. And I tell this story to the world, and I chose to publish 2 books about this, to share my soul, to share my heart, to share my sorrow, because I made choices that helped me and my family to choose life, because we are both living, right? Everybody that are listening now, we're all living because we chose. Not because we choose, because we're here.
Right.
But the meaning of life is not just to wake up every morning and to do our day to day. The meaning of life is to choose to live every day, even when we are sorry, when we are suffering,
Sorrow.
even
Yes.
when we are aching. Even then,
Yes.
my strategy is to choose joy, always. To
That's
choose to live this moment, because we don't have another life. We are born with a clock that, we think we get like 120 years to live,
right.
but really we come here with the 120, and it goes backward.
Right.
Every moment that we are here is not going to return.
Right.
So
And
every moment is a choice.
yes, yes. And we see it too every day. Even in the last 2 days, I don't know if you saw it too, but here in the news it's been all over the place because two very famous people just passed away. One in Ozzy Osbourne and the other one in Malcolm Warren, Jamal Warren, who was from the Cosby Show, and him too. He went on vacation in Costa Rica with his wife and his daughter, and he went swimming, and a current in the water took him, and they found his body. And it's like a person goes on vacation, like you said, it's just an ordinary thing. You guys
Ordinary,
went, I know you picked her up from dance class, you guys stopped for ice cream.
right?
I read a little bit in your book about, you speak about the choices you made that day and then the choices you made afterwards, and kind of reflecting on both, how we can sit in the sorrow of the choices I made that led to this accident and to this tragedy, and I can sit and blame myself for them, or I can choose to let go of it and move on and choose now where I am in this situation, choose life. And I remember asking you when we spoke, how did how did you get to the point of choosing otherwise for you rather than the sorrow, and seeing your family and knowing what you needed? So if you want to speak a little bit about that.
Of course. First, I want to say that I began my story in my book with
Mm,
those choices exactly, because I want to say everybody that are listening to me now, whether you are a CEO or a mother or a wife or a daughter or whatever you are, it doesn't matter. You do choices every day, all day long,
right.
and you cannot judge yourself in the wisdom of the perspective, because it's not really a wisdom. What you choose now, you do the best that you know that is best
Oh,
right now,
absolutely.
with your core values, with your abilities, with your rolling dice. This is why I called my first book the rolling dice, because this
Yes.
is how we all play in life. Life is a game, and the game is created by us. Of course, we play with other people. We don't control other people's choices. We only control ourselves. So
Yeah.
in this evening, I could judge myself, and I did. Of course, I did, because the consequence of these choices, in my eyes, in my mother's eyes, was a tragic loss of my beloved, beautiful, talented Yuval, which was a beautiful soul, both in the inside and both on the outside. She was a gymnastic Olympic dancer. She was creating every moment of her life. She was busy from 6 o'clock in the morning when she woke up with me. She didn't need to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, but she wanted her time with me. And she woke up. She was sitting by me when I was getting ready to work, and then she started her full-time day because she was going to school. She was only, she was 11 years old. She was a small soul. She was a wisdom one. She was an ancient soul in so many ways. She woke up, she went to school, and after school, every day, 5 times a week, 5 hours every day. She was in her gymnastic. You see her now. She was a swan. And the Swan Effect is not only something you read about. It's not only a theory in psychology or in economics, which we all know, because you introduced it in the beginning of this episode. She was really a swan. She was a beautiful swan, a beautiful dancer, and she was so talented, and she found out about it herself. Nobody saw it. She was when she was 3 years old, she was doing all those things in the living room, and then I took her to dancing course. And then after a few months, when she was so small, and she was always on the first row because all the girls looked at her. She knew everything by heart, and she was so talented. And then the manager said, "No, she needs to go to Olympics. She cannot go. She cannot stay here." And then we came to this beautiful, when everybody is throwing things in the air and everything is stripes and the costumes, and she was her eyes, she was so small, she was 5 years old, and she was like, "What's that? This is my playground. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to grow." She chose it herself, and of course she succeeded because she had this drive.
Right, and passion. She already discovered her passion.
Exactly, this was passion, and nothing hurt her, and nothing was painful, and nothing was hard, because she was excellent in her studies. She was excellent in her gymnastics. She got medals, of course, with her group, and she still managed to grow up 2 dogs. Was a friend who loved her friends, and they are still talking about her. She was a model. So when I chose, I was inspired by her. I was looking at her, and I said, "This little soul who did so many things in less than 12 years, this is the choice of life." And when she passed away, they asked us if we are willing. This was the first choice we made. We are willing to donate her organs. And we have decided to do this because we thought this was Yuval's legacy. Even though she was so small, she couldn't sign anything, but it was her choice. And she saved 5 souls. She donated her heart, her lungs, her kidneys, and she saved 4 small children and 1 woman. And I think this is her legacy, really. But except for this, for saving life, which is, I think, the most honorable that anyone can do for other person.
Absolutely.
It's the ultimate donation. It's like you don't get anything back; you just give.
Yes.
And I think this was our first choice as a family. And I'm saying it's not our choice. And then there was this moment when Hila was also in critical situation. Of course, they were both in 1 week of between death and life. And the moment that Yuval passed away, this was the moment that Hila woke up. And this was like parents that on one hand we lose the world, but on the other end we gain the world. And it was so. I don't know how to explain it, but it was
it tears you apart.
Exactly.
I can only imagine. Yeah, because you're in a situation where you want both, and yet you don't want to lose both. So at least you somewhat stuck in at least I got one, but I do want the other one. So how do I go on from here?
When I was sitting next to the both of them, because I was also injured and I was in a wheelchair, but it didn't matter nothing. I was sitting there day and night, and I was praying to God to bring them both back to me. But I was feeling that they were both waiting for one another. And I was terrified by it because I knew I could gain them both, but I was afraid of the unbearable loss, which I could. And there was this rabbi which came, and he was sensing the same thing. He's called the X-ray rabbi. I don't know if you know him.
Yes.
And there are things that they cannot be explained, not by religion and not by anything. He was a messenger. He was a messenger, and he came to the hospital for them. I was asking him to come, and even though he is placed in in the south, in the far south of Israel, and he left everything because I asked him to come, and he came to the daughters, and he was moving from both of them. They were sitting like they were, there was only a wall between them both in a critical condition. And when he came out, except for talking to me about how I feel, and he's not talking about the good daughter, and he said to me and to my husband that we need to be strong in our love. Before even speaking about the daughters, I'm talking about him, and he said that he separated their struggle for me. And this is something I couldn't speak. I couldn't tell it because I couldn't tell it to anybody. I didn't tell it to anybody, not even to my husband, not to my family, not to my parents, to anybody, because I was to nobody, because I was afraid of saying it even out loud.
Yes.
But when he said it, it was clear for me that I'm praying for them both.
Yeah.
Of course. But I'm telling you that this what happened. Yuval passed away, and Hila came back.
How many days was she in the hospital?
Both of them were Hila was 3 months in a
recovery.
Exactly, but Yuval passed away after 1 week. They were both in the danger of life, and luckily Hila survived, and now she is 18 years old, beautiful and talented, and a dog trainer, and she's going to learn psychology, and she wants to treat children with dogs. This is her main.
Beautiful, through animal therapy.
Exactly.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
This is what she's going to learn. So, the exact
I want to ask you something. Go ahead.
I want to answer you. I'm sorry because
go ahead.
You asked me how I chose, and what was the first step. I was miraculously near Hila in the hospital alone. I'm saying miraculously because we were surrounded by many people all the day,
all the time.
Always. We weren't alone for 1 second, and I was sitting near Hila, and miraculously I was alone, and she was asleep. She was still in the emergency care, and I was putting my hand on her hand, and all of a sudden I was able to see something very clear. I was able to see my family. I was able to see not only Yuval and her loss, which was, this was shattered for me. It broke me into pieces, not into two. It broke me into pieces. And suddenly I could, and it was overwhelming when you lose a child, and I don't want anybody to feel it, but I'm telling you that when you lose a child, when I lost my child, I couldn't see anything else. The pain is so, it breaks you. It shatters you. And all of a sudden I was able to see in front of my eyes my daughters. And at that moment I decided that I will not let them live in the shadow of Yuval, because Yuval is the most she cannot
life-loving creature.
No, she will always be the beautiful, the talented. She will always be the same. She will never be anything else. She will be a secret for everybody all the time, because she cannot do anything to harm this, right? She cannot. She can nothing. She will
nothing
always
will change.
Exactly. And I know what happens to families sometimes when the dead child is more important or more powerful. Not important, of course it's not more important, but it's overwhelming. It's all over the house. The absence is more alive than those who are here.
Yes.
And those who are present. And I've decided that it will not happen to my daughters. They will I understood that my role as a mother and as a leader of the family is the most important role right now. That everything I did until now doesn't count. That the way I handle this situation, this loss of Yuval, and my life and the life of my family is the most important thing. How I handle it now, and what I did, I didn't know what to do, but I do I did what I do best because I'm a manager I was always a manager. I've decided to do a family meeting, which only my family will be in the room, not anybody else. The core family, my husband, my elder Or, Yael, my second daughter, and Dila, of course, because she is there in her bed, and we all gather in this room of her. And I began to say things. I said to my family that we are all very sad about Yuval, and I didn't cry, but I told them I cannot come home at the moment. It's very difficult for me, but no matter what we all do, and no matter what we all choose, Yuval is not coming back. But we are here, and we have to. It's written everybody. It's written everywhere. We need to choose life, and to choose life is not to breathe. To choose life is to choose to live from the same moment our life broke till the end of life. From now on, we are going to choose life. And then I began to speak to everybody. I told Or, which was supposed to go to the army 1 month after we buried Yuval, 1 month after this accident. She was supposed to go to the army, and she was supposed to go to officer's course in order to be an officer. But she didn't want to do this. She said we gave enough. She was like in a break of belief in everything, because how can it be that this beautiful soul, her perfect sister, Yuval, how can she who did no harm to nobody, in a family that doesn't do harm. We don't do harm. We only do good. We try to do good. This is our intentions, even if sometimes, in life, maybe we did something, but how can it be? And she didn't want to go to the army, but I told her in this meeting, you're going to the army. And not only you're going to the army, you're going to the officer's course. I was an officer, and I will help you. This is what I told them. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't plan anything that I said. I was talking from my heart. And then I told to Yael, who was 14 years old and wanted to go to high school in a very super wanted theory. She wanted to go, and I told her, you're going to learn, you're going to go to the youth group where you are a counselor, you're going to do everything. Everybody is not here in the hospital during the day. Everybody, I sent them to the life, not to the grief, not to the ache, not to the hospital. No, I didn't want them to be here. I want them to be outside. I asked my husband to continue managing his business because this is our living. And they asked him to send project, to finish, to start, whatever, to talk to clients, to do whatever he does, what he can do. I ask everybody to do their best, because now we have to choose life. And of course, the last one was Hila, and I told her that we are so proud of her, and we're thanking her for coming back to us, because she is our hero. And we are all here to bring her back to us on her feet, breathing, and back to life. And I think this meeting, which I did from a heart of a mother, changed everything, because all the focus of the family was from death to the life, from what we don't have to what we do have. We don't have Yuval, but we have each other. We don't have Yuval, but we have ourselves. And we have to be here. And I most importantly, I think what I did was giving them the feeling that I see them, that I love them, that Yuval is not more important than them, that everybody is important. Everybody, every soul in this family is my life.
Just as important. Yes. And it's okay to keep going. And I think so many people are afraid, right, of that moment of losing someone that is so close to them. And especially in your case, as you were driving the car. So I can only imagine the guilt trips and everything that you went through as a mother. But we all want to believe that we can behave in the way that you just described in a moment of such enormous tragedy and such an enormous trauma. And we want to believe that we can, choose life and see the cup half full. And, I want to say, you said you had that moment where you saw the family. Do you feel like there was anything divine in there? Do you feel like there was anything that, because it's very hard, to come out from, and you were still in the hospital, which is, incredible on its own, as far as like the strength and the resilience to embody in such a moment. So, I want to ask you that you're saying you feel like there was divine, because I feel like in those moments there has to be something that is bigger and higher than us. I do want to ask you one thing as far as like those conversations, because you said you kept encouraging them to choose life. How hard were conversations with Hilal? Did she have moments where she felt like it was supposed to be her and it should have been her, or because, and I remember from reading in your book, they switched places in the car too. She sat in her spot and she wanted her spot back. So was there any conversation that, if you can touch on that just kind of real quick, on how as a mother conversating and encouraging life and showing positivity and trying to, relieve the guilt from the daughter that stayed and chose and, got to live after that.
I have to say that I was very authentic with everybody, also with
Yes.
Ila. And I told her that I feel guilty, but nobody is guilty. And even though she didn't say it, I told to her, and I was more importantly than the conversation where at night she was mainly talking to my husband, who was sleeping next to her. I wasn't able to sleep there because I was sleeping in the hospital, but I was sleeping in an ordinary bed because my back was broken, couldn't sleep there. And my husband slept with her, and she asked a lot of questions, and she wanted to remember because she didn't remember everything. And when you are a child, what you don't remember or what you don't know, you make up. You feel in, and you feel in what you don't want as a parent that your child will imagine. Because when they imagine, it is usually
Worst case
not.
scenario.
It's usually more extreme,
Yes.
more like not a reality. So we gave her the facts. We told her the facts in order for her to know the reality and not to imagine and not to fill in the details that she doesn't know. So we encourage her to ask a lot of questions and a lot of everything that she thought. We let her say everything that you remember, everything you want to know. If you don't remember, we encourage her to ask a lot of questions, even though we were shattered, and it was very painful. And in the first book, Eli is writing an episode. She wrote an episode in the first book, and she told everybody what she felt. And yes, there were lots of things, but we told her that it was nobody's fault. It was being in the wrong moment at the wrong place.
The wrong time. Yes.
And I don't exactly. And I don't know what could happen. I told at the beginning, I said that the wisdom of the retro perspective is not really a wisdom. Okay. And I'm writing it in my book because every choice we did, every choice of the switching of the places, of Hila wanting to come with us to this gymnastic, to pick up Yuval, and my offering them ice cream instead of taking them home, my changing the course of my ride because this is what I thought was best because this was a night and it was winter and the sight wasn't good, and me deciding to let people walk cross the street. Okay, I could choose otherwise. I could choose everything. I could choose otherwise, but I was reflecting
doors.
Always, because this is the Swan Effect, okay? Because every decision I made this evening led to another decision, and to another decision. It was like a rolling event. Based on my decisions, okay? But aside from my decision, there were other people. There was another driver. There were another. Everybody was there. So what happened. I can't change it. And this is what I'm talking about in my 2 books. I cannot think about what could happen. The second book is talking about what could happen. And it takes you, the reader, from between reality and imagination, and the life that Yuval could have lived, and what happens in the gap. What do we do when we dream, and the things are not happening the way we dreamt about, because we have a vision about our life. And this is what I'm teaching, and this is what I'm talking about all the time. This is Yuval on the book.
On the cover, her silhouette from her picture. Yes,
and
I love that.
It's not only the Swan Effect. She decided to disguise in the last Purim of her life in a black swan
costume.
And it's not, I don't think it's you said if there was something bigger than me. I think everything was bigger than me. I think that at this moment that I chose, that I saw my daughter, I think Yuval was there with me. And Yuval is talking about this in my second book. The second book is from part of the second book is from her voice. She is telling us, and I think I wrote it through her. I don't know how to explain it, because I'm very down to earth. I'm a manager. I'm doing finance. So how can you be? But I'm a mix of I think of material,
spirituality and pragmatic. You have the pragmatic, you have the creative, and when things like that happen too, that are bigger than us, and I can say it from my experience too, like I started talking about my mom, you really do feel the presence, you feel the soul, you feel their guidance, you feel like they're with you, and they have their ways to channel to you what they think, what they feel, what they want you to do. And I think that's really how, when we spoke about your book, the second book, the Swan Effect, that I just showed, and this is the QR code. Unfortunately for all of you English speakers here, the books are still in Hebrew. They will be translated soon enough, but if you want to purchase the books, you can scan the QR code. This is the Swan Effect, the second book that speaks, like she said, part of it in Yuval's voice. And the first book, I call it Gaming Dice, but it's called Rolling Dice, and the Livnat calls it Rolling Dice, so my apologies. But this is the QR code, and that's the first book where Livnat tells the whole story. I want to read one of the, we had, I think, something in the live chat. Yes, let me read. It's long, so I'm probably going to read half of it from there. The decision to choose life in such a situation is not to be taken for granted, and is truly admirable. The ability to manage this difficult situation during the family gathering is a superpower. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. And I think that's where the manager in you comes in. We have a few minutes left. I would love for you to speak about really how, you took that trauma and that tragedy into your business life. Like you said, you opened your own business with BIZNIZ, where you're helping CEOs and managers and people in the corporate world to deal with their Swan Effect situation, may it be chosen or forced upon, and kind of figure out and maneuver through it and make the right choices. So if you can kind of bring us into that word with a few words on how to make choices, and give the audience some advices about how to grow financially, personally, professionally, with making choices and not guilting themselves up about the ones that they couldn't.
I want to say that we are all people, and we bring our selves into everything, into our business, into our managing roles, into our lives. And this is why my model, which I created, which is the SWAM models, is basically dealing with our lives, which is our financial lives, our business lives, and our personal lives. And in my model, when I do consulting for business and for CEOs, and when I also teach in academic schools in Israel. I choose to negotiate and to accept and to take decisions in uncertainty, because we don't know what the other side thinks, and we don't know what dice is going to throw into the game. We don't know. We know, but we can control our dice. We can control how we play this game,
Yes.
no matter in what situation. So I teach these things also in banks, also in the academics, and also in organization that I consult. So my model is a 9-phase model, which is a revolving model all the time. We always returning to the same spot. The first phase is to do zoom out to the situation. To do zoom out is really important because we are in the situation. We cannot step aside and look. So
Yes.
I'm teaching people how to do it. The way I did it when I was alone with Ilah, and then I saw in my spirit, in my mind, what I need to do. So maybe I didn't know exactly what I need to do, but I did the first step. The first step is the most important step. And in order to do zoom out, we need to take aside from the situation. If we're in the hospital, maybe we need to go out. Maybe we need to go to the beach, to some place, or to the nature, or whatever makes us think. Not with our mobile, not with our friends. We need to reconnect to ourselves because we don't see anything. So the first step, because we don't have much time, but I'm speaking about it everywhere. I'm develop it in my book, everything in my Swan Effect. So to do zoom out is to step aside from the situation, maybe to do a walking, maybe to go to the beach, maybe whatever. And then when we come back, after we
Our mind.
Exactly, we come back and we write everything that pumps into our head during the walk, during the sitting, during everything that we did, like for half an hour, nothing more.
Yes.
This will clarify the things for you. After I do this, I take the things that I wrote down and I do surgical analysis. I step aside every noise, everything that is not exactly like a surgeon in the room.
Yeah, in the surgery
During the
room.
surgery is dealing with the one place that affects everything. Is not dealing with our mind right now. If we have a heart disease, he will deal with the heart disease afterwards in
Rehabilitation.
exactly. Sorry,
Okay.
process. We will deal with the other things, but first we need this organ to be better, right?
Right.
So we choose
We go to the source.
analysis on the same spot that hurts the most.
Yes.
At first, we don't know to recognize it. This is why we do the zoom out. Then we do the surgical. After we see it, then we operate this thing first. Then we try to see what will happen in the side effects, okay? The side effects mapping. What will happen if we do nothing? What will happen if we do this step? What will happen if we do this step?
Right.
We have choices. We want to map our choices, and then we want to map what will happen if we take this action, this first, this second. Okay, we map our choices, and we try to decide according to the side effects that are going to happen, because he said everything is circles. When I choose to go right, this is a side effect. If I choose, and this is how we do decisions that are based on facts and not on feelings. We a little bit put the feelings aside for these three steps. Okay, first 3 steps. The fourth one is
I don't know if we're going to be able to get to all of the steps. I'm sorry to cut you off. Unfortunately, we only have a 56
but I think those
minute
3
show.
steps are those 3 steps are the most important ones.
Right, the core.
And all the steps, the choices are made of joy. The choices are made of not of sorrow, not of because the way you choose to approach your problem or your negotiation, if you want to grow, you need to take it with joy, even in the most difficult times. And I know I've been there. I know. Okay.
Absolutely.
After every down, we can climb up.
Yes.
Okay. And if we don't choose, the side effect will be sorrow, will be diseases, could be another loss, maybe of our business, maybe of someone who's important to us, maybe the loss of our family. Never mind if it's divorce or whatever.
Yes.
If we choose joy, we choose life.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love that. And yes, let's always remember that if we choose joy, we choose life. And we step away, we're mindful, we bring it to ourselves, we look for the silence, we center ourselves so we can come to our choices and our realization from a more calm place. I want to thank you so much, Livnat, for being here, for sharing your story with us. You can stay in the backstage. I'm sure people will write you more comments in here. I'm gonna everybody's saying you have an amazing approach. People are keep I kept posting all the comments here. Truly inspirational, Michael says. He last said you have an amazing approach. People kept talking here that you're unbelievable. So I want to thank you so much. I wish you and your beautiful family all the
Thank you.
best. May you guys always keep growing. May
You
only good things happen, and good luck with the new business. I ran your website in here. I'll do it again. If anybody wants to follow you and find you, I put your Facebook in here too. The website has a button in English, so you guys
right.
can enjoy that.
Thank
Everything
you.
has
Same.
English and Hebrew. If you want to purchase the book, you can scan the QR code. Thank you again, my darling. I truly
Thank you.
appreciate this inspiring, beautiful conversation, and just wishing you
Privilege.
many blessings. Yes.
Thank you for
Thank
choosing me.
Oh, of course, it's a
I love you.
privilege to have you here. I love you too.